There is genuinely nothing sadder to me than a woman who does not have a community. I think that when it comes to the idea, because I talk a lot about being child free on here, but there's a lot that goes into that. And I think that decentering men is part of that, but I also think the emphasis of community is also part of that. And, women bring culture, women create homes, they create people. Women are portals, right? Between this realm and the next, like a soul is made in the body of somebody that's pregnant. And the idea of going through this world solo, as humans in general are social creatures, but women especially bring people together. So I bring this up to say, because I saw this tweet and I want to read it to you guys, and I think there's a discussion that kind of needs to be had. Also, hi, my name is Shayna, and if you could share, subscribe, all that stuff, and yeah, that'd be great. Okay, now let's dive in. Oh, and if you see anything interesting, please be sure to comment. Okay, now let's dive in. Oop, wait a minute. Had to start from the beginning. There we go. Her name kind of got cut off, but this is her name right here, marketing bully _. And she says, I feel sorry for women who lack sisterhood and have no real friendship with other women. There's nothing like cooking together and getting wine drunk with your girls, or meeting at the airport to ball out and making memories. The hugs they give when you're down are top tier. Then she continues on this one. There's nothing like FaceTiming your girls with good news and they're jumping up and down ecstatic for you. Sisterhood isn't something you can buy. It's a bond you build over time with work. It's invaluable. And I think this next commenter who retweeted says something very, very important to this conversation. I am golden. They need to change their mindset, hobbies, and circle. I think that she's talking about people who don't have this kind of sisterhood in their lives. That this is possible, but some people only want to hang out with the lit crowd and be seen. Real friends support each other, pray for each other, pray for better times, and create memories together, no matter who they are. Now, for one, I think that praying for each other has a specific kind of idea for people who are religious, but I want to broaden that, because I think to pray for better times doesn't necessarily mean that you're praying to one of the a Christian deity or a Muslim deity or a gods or whatever. It literally just means hoping to a higher power, talking to a higher power for better things, for just having a conversation with a higher power. Literally manifesting when you say to somebody, hey, I want the best for you. You can speak life into somebody, and I consider that a form of prayer. And it's really, really powerful and interesting, especially when it's done with the purest of intentions, to see how those things can manifest in your friends' lives. But something that I didn't realize is that how many people, women especially, don't have community right now. There's a lot of people, women, we're not even talking about the men right now, because as we have established in other videos, there's a loneliness epidemic among the men. But when it comes to women, there's a lot of people who are outside of community, craving it, looking for it, and they're outside of community. Now, I think that part of it could be a change in mindset, hobbies, and circle. A lot of people, because of how deep into late stage capitalism we are, there's not a lot of time for hobbies. And if you're gonna have a hobby, a lot of people turn those hobbies into hustles because bills gotta get paid, which I do understand. It does also create more of an individualistic kind of, it creates that mosaic, where there's individual pieces that create a beautiful thing at the end. But no, there's supposed to be hobbies. There's supposed to be downtime. We're supposed to have third spaces, because that builds communities, but communities are antithetical to capitalism. Anyway, we're moving forward from that. But a change in mindset, I also find interesting, especially with the younger generations. Because so many things are now being monetized, even community is being monetized, which is wild to think about, but we actually see it happen all the time. Like this commenter is saying, when it comes to only hanging out with the lit crowd or wanting to be seen. that's not actually community building. That's not friendship building. That's networking. And there have been elements of this that have like played out since all of us were kids, you know, like the people that, like, sure, you might have had, like, think about middle school, right? Nobody, if you thrived in middle school, then I don't really want to know where you're at right now in life. But you know, middle school is hard for everybody. We're all trying to like figure out who we are, what we like, trying not to get made fun of by people that are also with crippling anxiety, all of that, right? And sure, there might be a group of friends that, or a group of kids in school that you have more common interests with, that you have a more similar sense of humor with, that culturally you're more aligned with. But you'll push away from those friends and move towards a different set of people, push away from those people, move towards a different set of people because they are the lit crowd, because they are the popular kids, because there is something to be gained monetarily from being associated with those people. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be money. That could be clout. That could be a form of social currency. There's a whole other like range of topics that go into how beauty is currency for women. And so being seen with other beautiful women could increase your social currency, which for a lot of women can, like later on, results in money. But once again, it's antithetical to actually building relationships with people because you're going into this, you're pushing away from people that you have a natural connection with and moving towards people that you're trying to force a relationship with because not because of shared values, shared goals, shared humor, shared things, but to gain something from them. It's baby capitalism. Now, I think that this is a completely that this is one thing and it leads into another conversation about how to identify good friends. So I travel a lot. I last year lived in 3 separate countries, and this year I am planning on making a long-term move to another country. Life is kooky. And with that, I am constantly in spaces where I have to make new friends from the beginning. And I personally love that, but I'm also incredibly extroverted. But even outside of that, I found that it is actually easiest for me to more immediately find the people that I connect with when I'm traveling. And not only is it easier for, in my experience anyway, to make friends when I'm traveling because of the way that I build community, but for example, the last country that I lived in was Spain, and I told myself that I was going to try and date when I was in Spain. I wasn't dating in the other countries, but I was like, okay, we're gonna try this out. Everybody's been bullying me, so I'm like, all right, let's give this a try. I tried. The men were disappointing. They're men. What are you gonna do? But the relationships that I made with the women, like truly friends that I made off the street, friends that I made at parties, friends that I made while my other friends were trying to set me up with men. And I'm like, these men are disappointing, but that lady over there looks like a friend. And then we just find each other. It happens all the time. And I think that the magic of these kinds of relationships, especially when you're in an uncomfortable space, right? When you're in a transitional space, because a lot of the other women that I met were like, some were locals, but a lot were from other countries. Some were there studying, some were there on like a spiritual journey. Like there were all of these reasons why people, in all of these spaces in which I found people that they were in themselves, but in connecting with them, I felt a deeper sense of relationship, not just to them, but to the city that we were in also. And the friends that I made while I was over there, they were the reason, they are the reason why I want to go back. Like, I love the city, I love the food, I love the culture that's there. I love I also do a lot of wine writing, and, you know, this is going to be in Spain. So, and there's a lot of opportunities for me to do that, but more so than anything else, the kinds of people women specifically, that I met there really opened my eyes to an entirely different realm of friendship. Now, not to say that I hadn't experienced friendships of that depth before, but of that quality I hadn't experienced before. And like it's beautiful to be able to go to have somebody to rant to after a date went absolutely sideways. It's beautiful to have somebody that can celebrate you, like getting a new article published. It's beautiful to have somebody that you can celebrate and, build each other up. It's really like women tend to be wells that naturally feed into, like, pour into something. So being in community with other wells just means that you're constantly getting filled and then filling into other people. And it is so empowering. It is so empowering. And it saddens me to know that there's a lot of women out there that don't experience this. Whether it's because they haven't had good relationships with other women in the past, or sometimes it can be mother wounds, and they're like, it's scary for me to connect with other women, or because of pick me nature, or like there's a whole bunch of reasons, and by pick me I also mean like pick me slash like the centering of men in their lives. There's a whole bunch of reasons why people might have hard times building relationships with other women. And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on this, because this was truly just a rant. Truly just a rant. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.